The gated community betrayal. The day I caught my wife cheating with the HOA president was the day I became the most hated man in Riverview Estates, and the one who brought it back to life. It started with a $700 fine for my solar panels, but what I uncovered was a scam that would land my wife in handcuffs and change our community forever. My name is Nathan Brooks, and until 5 months ago, I thought I had it all figured out. I'm 38, a cybersecurity analyst who spent 15 years building firewalls for tech startups. I cashed out my shares in a cloud computing firm, netting enough to move my family, my wife Lauren, and our 10-year-old daughter Mia to Riverview Estates, a gated community in suburban California. The place was a dream on paper. Sleek homes, manicured lawns, and a community center with a pool that Mia couldn't stop talking about. We'd moved here for a fresh start after years of grinding work, hoping to slow down and rebuild our family's rhythm. But life has a way of reminding you that even the shiniest plans can hide cracks. Lauren and I had been married for 12 years, and while things weren't perfect, whose marriage is, I thought we were solid. She was a freelance event planner, always charming clients with her quick wit and perfect smile. Mia was our glue, her laughter filling our home. Riverview's realtor hyped the community's perks: top schools, tight security, and an HOA that keeps everything pristine. When she mentioned the HOA president, Derek Walsh, was a bit particular about standards, I shrugged it off. I dealt with control freaks in corporate life. How bad could one neighborhood suit be? I found out on a sunny June morning. I'd installed solar panels on our roof, a practical move to cut our energy bills and do right by the planet. Mia loved the idea, calling them sun catchers for her science project. We'd been using them for a month when a notice arrived, taped to our door like a scarlet letter. Violation. Unapproved exterior modification. Fine, $700. The HOA claimed my solar panels violated aesthetic guidelines. I was stunned. The realtor had praised Riverview's eco-friendly vibe, and our panels were sleek, barely visible from the street. I emailed Derek Walsh, asking for clarification. His reply was curt. All exterior changes require prior approval. Regulation amended April 2025. Check your spam folder for the notice. I scoured my inbox. Nothing. When I called the HOA office, Derek's assistant, a curt woman named Brenda, insisted the email went to all residents. Ignorance isn't an excuse, Mr. Brooks, she snapped. I drove to the HOA office, a glass-walled building by the community gate, to appeal in person. Derek, a polished man in his 50s with a politician's smile and a tailored blazer, leaned back in his chair. Riverview Estates has standards, he said, his tone dripping with superiority. Solar panels disrupt the community's cohesive look. Pay the fine, remove them, or face further penalties. I noticed something off. His smug confidence, the way he glanced at his phone mid-sentence. Why wasn't I notified about the rule change? I pressed. Derek's smile tightened. We sent the email. Perhaps you're not as organized as you think. His condescension stung, but I kept my cool. I'll look into it, I said, leaving with a knot in my gut. That night I told Lauren about the fine. She seemed distracted, scrolling her phone. Just pay it, Nathan, she said, barely looking up. Don't make waves. Her dismissiveness was unlike her, but I chalked it up to stress. The next week, things got weirder. I started noticing Derek's car, a black SUV with tinted windows, parked near our house at odd hours. One evening, I saw Lauren slip out after dinner, saying she had a client meeting. I didn't think much of it until I checked her phone's location out of curiosity. She was at the community center, not the hotel she'd mentioned. My stomach churned, but I pushed the thought away. Lauren wouldn't do that, would she? Then Mia came home from school upset. Some kids said we're troublemakers, she said, her voice small. They heard it from their parents at the HOA meeting. I pressed her for details. Apparently, Derek had mentioned new residents ignoring rules at a community gathering Lauren attended. I confronted Lauren that night. Why didn't you tell me about the meeting? She shrugged, avoiding my eyes. It was boring, just HOA stuff. Her evasiveness lit a fuse in me. Something was wrong. I started digging. As a cybersecurity guy, I'm good at finding digital footprints. I checked the HOA's website, which was a mess of outdated bylaws and vague notices. No mention of the solar panel rule. I scoured public records and found Derek's company, Walsh Enterprises, was a landscaping firm contracted by the HOA for $200,000 a year, way above market rates. Suspicious, I hacked into a poorly secured HOA server. Don't judge, desperate times. What I found was a goldmine. Invoices for landscaping work that never happened, like turf replacement on fields that hadn't been touched in years. The payments went to a shell company, Green Vista Solutions. Then came the bombshell. While checking Lauren's laptop for HOA emails, she'd claimed she got the solar panel notice. I found a hidden folder with messages between her and Derek. They weren't just professional, late-night texts, flirty emojis, plans to meet at a hotel outside Riverview. My heart sank. My wife was cheating with the HOA president. Worse, some emails referenced our little project and keeping the funds flowing. Lauren wasn't just unfaithful. She was in on Derek's scam. I couldn't confront her yet. If they were stealing, I needed proof to protect Mia and our home. The $700 fine felt personal now, a way to keep me distracted. I reached out to Clara Evans, a retired CPA who lived across the street. She'd been fined $400 for her unapproved mailbox and had no love for Derek. Over coffee at her cluttered kitchen table, she shared her suspicions. Derek's been president for 7 years, she said, pulling out a binder of HOA budgets. Every year, landscaping costs balloon, but our lawns look the same. I tried asking questions at a meeting, and he shut me down, saying I was disrupting harmony. Clara introduced me to Javier Ruiz, a mechanic who'd been hit with a $500 fine for his truck's commercial appearance, despite parking it in his garage. Derek's got spies, Javier said. His buddy Brenda's husband watches the neighborhood like a hawk. We formed a quiet alliance, meeting in Clara's basement to avoid prying eyes. Javier brought in Maya Patel, a nurse fined $600 for her kid's noisy basketball hoop. The day I complained, Derek's cronies started driving by my house, she said. It's intimidation. Our group grew to 20 households, a quarter of Riverview estates, using a secure chat app I set up. Residents shared stories, fines for unapproved paint colors, excessive holiday lights, even a dog's disruptive barking. The pattern was clear. Derek targeted anyone who questioned him, especially newcomers or minorities. Clara's records showed $1.2 million in HOA fees unaccounted for over 5 years, all tied to Green Vista Solutions. I traced the company to a P.O. box, but its bank account linked to Derek's personal email, and Lauren's. The betrayal cut deep. Lauren was my partner, Mia's mom. How could she do this? But Mia's tearful face kept me focused. She deserved a home free from this corruption. I dug deeper, finding Green Vista's payments were split. 60% to Derek, 40% to an account in Lauren's name. They were embezzling HOA funds, using fines to silence dissent while funneling money to their fake company. Derek's plan was to buy out struggling residents' homes through a real estate partner, flipping them for profit as Riverview's value rose. I needed more proof. Using my cybersecurity skills, I accessed Derek's cloud storage. His passwords were laughably weak. I found a contract. Walsh Enterprises was set to sell Green Vista to a developer for $500,000, with Lauren as a silent partner. The deal hinged on keeping residents compliant through fines, ensuring stability for the sale. My solar panel fine was no accident. It was a test to see if I'd roll over. I confronted Lauren late one night after Mia was asleep. "What's going on with you and Derek?" I asked, holding up a printed email. Her face paled. "It's not what you think," she stammered, but her excuses unraveled. "We were just securing our future," she said, admitting to the affair and the scam. Derek said it was foolproof. I was furious but kept my voice low. "You're stealing from our neighbors, Lauren. From Mia's friends, how could you?" She begged me not to tell, promising to end it. I didn't trust her. "Fix this, or I will," I said, walking out. I shared the evidence with Clara, Javier, and Maya. "We need to take this public," Clara said, but Derek's got allies on the HOA board. Javier suggested a sting. "Let's catch them slipping." I hacked into the HOA security cameras again, terrible passwords, and set up a dummy account to bait Derek. I sent an email posing as a resident offering to pay off fines for discreet landscaping services. Derek bit, arranging a cash drop at the community center. We recorded him and Lauren collecting $2,000 discussing how to split the take. The HOA's annual meeting was a week away, where Derek planned to push a $75 monthly maintenance fee to enhance green spaces. It was a front to fund their scam. We planned our move. I contacted a friend, Elena Torres, a local journalist, and gave her the evidence. Emails, bank records, the sting video. She agreed to attend the meeting incognito. We also recruited more neighbors, like Victor Chen, a teacher fined for his unapproved fence, and Lila Nguyen, a florist hit for her shop's unpermitted sign, despite being on private property. The meeting was packed, 80 households crammed into the community center. Derek stood at a podium, his PowerPoint touting Riverview's future, lush and prosperous. He pitched the fee, claiming it would protect property values. I stood up, heart pounding. I have a question, Derek. Why are HOA funds going to Green Vista Solutions, a company you and Lauren Brooks own? The room went silent. Derek's smile faltered. That's baseless slander, he snapped. Sit down, Mr. Brooks. I didn't. I nodded to Javier, who connected my laptop to the projector. Up flashed the emails, bank statements, and the sting video, Derek and Lauren counting cash, laughing about dumb residents. Gasps echoed. Lauren in the front row turned ashen. This is fake, she shouted, but the crowd wasn't buying it. Elena stood, identifying herself as a reporter. I've sent this evidence to the district attorney, she said. Care to comment, Mr. Walsh? Derek stammered, then bolted for the door. Lauren tried to follow, but two sheriff's deputies, tipped off by Elena, blocked the exit. The fallout was swift. Lauren and Derek were arrested for embezzlement and fraud, facing charges that could mean years in prison. Lauren's betrayal stung, but I filed for divorce to protect Mia. The HOA board was ousted in a special election, with Clara elected president. She slashed fees, audited finances, and canceled all unfair fines. I kept the solar panels, and Mia's sun catchers became a neighborhood symbol of resilience. 3 months later, we hosted a community barbecue. No HOA approval needed. Kids swam, neighbors laughed, and Riverview felt like home again. Mia ran up, her smile wide. Dad, this is better than before, she said. I hugged her, thinking of the future we'd reclaimed. Sometimes, justice isn't just about catching the bad guys. It's about rebuilding what they broke.